I hereby open this Newcastle Environmental Review Board meeting for Monday, June 17th. And first thing is to review the minutes from the last meeting. Any comments, questions, or thereabouts regarding the minutes?
No comments. Yeah.
You read them?
Of course.
Guys like the font?
I move to approve.
All in favor, or second? All in favor, aye. Okay, so the first application, wetlands permit for Jessica and Michael Ugliarola, 18 Silver Lane, and I would say that you're here to
represent
them. Bill Spade,
They're on
and they are also online. All right. Anything that you want to say first, or are we let Bill go?
Yeah, other than I did meet Bill prior to the application submission, so we were in a good place from the start. And I, just went to the site today just to verify or confirm those spots that he's identified for mitigation, and he has photo representation of that. So that's about it.
So a little overview information, it's a 1.7 acre lot. About half of the lot is a steep hillside going up from the main part of the property. And there's a stream path at the bottom of that hill. And I give you both this aerial view of the property, so you can see that the path of that stream runs all through their property and onto adjacent properties. That stream is obviously a water course, therefore wetland. It is slightly uphill of the main part of the property where the house sits. So there's an upward embankment to the crown of the stream from the house. There are no wetlands between the stream and the house, so it's the stream bed. By the way, I'm sorry, I should have introduced the owners, Jessica and Michael Ugliarola, are on the screen there.
Hi.
Jessica just had a baby, so congratulations.
Thank you.
So there are no wetlands, past the edge of the water course. There's a 6-foot high fence, about 5 feet inboard of that stream. And then again, downhill to the house from that fence line. So no water that is going from the house to the stream. All the grade level water that we come to the stream is coming from the hillside up. You can see from the photographs there that that hillside is heavily vegetated. There's no development on that hillside. Much of it is treed. A portion of it doesn't have many trees, so it's wild growth.
No, I'll add dense wild growth. It is dense, yes.
So what we're proposing then is the project is to enlarge an existing rear deck. You can see that on the aerial photo. We're adding about 365 square feet of new deck area plus the 2 sets of stairs. Their existing deck is not in great shape, so it needs to be redone anyhow, and enlarging it to just accommodate better uses for their family. So that 365 square feet is what we're proposing to mitigate with the proposal that's on the plan. Having walked it with Dennis, and again from the photographs that you have, we've identified areas along the stream that are presently either lawn or some sort of growth that's been cut down. And so on the house side of the stream, for the most part, we're proposing sections of that to reintroduce wetland vegetation to help buffer that edge of the stream and keep it in better condition. So you see marked on the site plan color marked on here. 4 areas in total that are going to total the 365 or so square feet of new wetland planting. The plantings we're proposing are a mix of winterberry, scrubbush, I have to read the names, azalea, blueberry, blackberry, gooseberry, all obviously native plantings, some that flower at different times of the season, so adding a bit of color to that. The idea would be to remove the existing lawnish development where these planted areas would go, put in a mulch bed, plant the plants in groups of 3. We've got quantities that add up to groups of 3 nicely, and then filling in around the plants with grass plugs, so that we're also obviously stabilizing the ground around the plantings. So those are the predominantly the planted areas. You can see I've marked in a couple of places where the edge of the stream has kind of eroded away and exposed bare soil. So also as part of this, we're going to stabilize that, add some boulderish stones to that edge to help hold the soil better, and then replant those areas so that that's not becomes vegetated and is a stabilized area. The stream, by the way, I mentioned, is kind of a meandering stream through the backyard. It's always active, it's always flowing. But at times, obviously with heavy rain, it becomes a more forceful flow of water and therefore can erode parts of the embankment. So the idea is to help reinforce that. Otherwise, when we do our construction work on the deck, we'll still surround that with a soil fence, erosion fence. But as I mentioned, none of the house area flows uphill to the bank of the stream, so there really isn't any storm flow that could get from the construction area to the stream, but we'll still do erosion fence around. That's my short and sweet part of the presentation. If anyone has any questions about what we're proposing.
Does the existing deck, when it rains, is there any runoff or soil that comes out of that area?
Not that I can tell. It's very close to the ground. There's probably 4 or 5 inches between the ground and the underside of the deck, and then there's a lattice all around that. So I think peering through it, it tends to look gravelish in there. So, but fairly level area. So, we would
Same
maintain
thing,
that same.
put some sort of gravel underneath.
Yes,
just to catch.
exactly. Right. Yeah, we have 5 new concrete piers we have to put in for the deck posts, and we'll put a gravel layer on that ground area underneath of the deck.
You okay with the plantings, Dennis?
Yeah, I only have 2 comments that when you get to that point I'm fine with the mitigation plan. The only thing I would comment on is that there's a uniqueness of this site that you have a fair amount of rock and obviously slope. So this was a better approach to identify areas and just sort of have your list, because if you just laid out rows and X's and whatnot, I'm like, for this area you're gonna go and find locations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which
Right.
are, because some are gonna be rock. I
Yeah.
don't expect you to put plants on a rock, right?
Right.
Others may only have this much soil, but then you might hit that sweet spot where it's like, what if we double plant here because it makes sense because it's rock here and rock here? That would be absolutely acceptable. So it'll be like a field location, honestly. And I think whoever does the actual installations is probably going to want some guidance as well, because they're going to get out there and it's not going to be a typical
Right.
perfect level bed where oh wow, I got 3 feet of soil, I can do whatever I
Do you
want.
think they'll have the depth to plant the shrubs that you selected?
I feel so.
Yeah,
feel
I mean,
so.
better than trees, yeah, I would,
Definitely not trees,
Yeah,
I was
definitely
thinking
go with-
forbs, but.
right, and honestly, if, you know, if you needed to reduce the size of the actual shrubs, you know, from 3 gallon to 2 gallon or 1 gallon because of the consideration of the area, that would be reasonable as well.
Is
But,
there,
sorry,
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna just throw in a suggestion we would have, which would be, we'll lay out the plans and then have you come out and look at it before they get planted, just to make sure you feel like we're
Yeah, and,
covering it the right way.
yeah, and as long as you have, and I only, from personal experience, with the town, if you look off of the stream, which is the spillway of the duck pond, this year I actually marked it with some tubes and some colored stakes, but those are red maples that we got last year
Yeah,
for free from
Oh, yeah.
Bartlett. And I had to go out, and I didn't realize until I had my auger just how much painting there was below like this vegetative layer. I'm like, oh, that's rock, that's rock. Not necessarily bedrock, I think
Yeah.
whatever it was there.
Right, just-
And when I finally found sweet spots, I was just dropping pin flags.
yeah,
And so whoever planted them knew, just head to the pin flags and put the trees there, I said, because it's not gonna work anywhere
Yeah.
else. So it'll be like a similar approach
Got it.
here, which is
Okay.
fine.
okay.
Um,
Sorry to interrupt.
no, do you, is there a lot of deer pressure?
Deer pressure, what do you mean by pressure, like, the
Deer
visiting
activity?
regular? Jessica, is there a lot of deer activity?
Yeah, there's deer back there.
Right.
I'm just concerned because I think a lot of the choices that you have for the shrubs are gonna be very attractive to
Right.
them.
So they have, I don't know the height, but they have a fence actually that runs along.
Yes. 6 feet,
Okay, so
yeah, that's,
that would be
you see
the,
it.
right, that would be the height.
You're penning the deer in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, and then on the opposite side, so, you know, I don't know how advantageous of an environment it is, and they live there, so I'd be curious to hear if you ever see deer from the opposite side, because it is a steep slope and it is densely, you know, vegetated. So, you know, I didn't see any like pathways, you know, sometimes you see like the little paths where I didn't see any. It doesn't look like, you know, it would be the most preferred sort of access way for them to get to there. So the side that would need protecting, in my opinion, is protected with that fence. And it's something that I guess, you know, you'll figure out if it's like ringing the dinner bell and it's worth it for them to traverse just to get, you know, some of your blueberries, or if it
Yeah.
continues to be, you know, the topographic and vegetative impedance that it seems to appear to be at this moment.
Okay,
And they do have netting that you can put over the shrubs as extra protection if you wanted to do that, for sure,
Yeah.
early on.
okay.
So, do we have a motion to approve this plan? Do we have enough?
Motion to approve the plan as presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, good luck.
You want me to take the picture back or you?
You could, yeah,
Thank you. Okay. All right, nice seeing you.
too.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Okay, second application. For a wetlands permit for the town of Newcastle at the intersection of Route 120 Quaker Road and Hunts Place. Replacement of one pedestrian bridge that parallels Route 120 and a perennial stream, and replacement of superstructure of another pedestrian bridge that travels over the dam of the pond, the duck pond. So, who's here? You want to take it away?
I have
Yeah,
a
so-
question before I start.
Oh, sure,
Hold
go
on a
ahead.
second. Did the town really pay $225 for the filing permit?
No, I just checked that off so that, you know, it's an environmental review board permit. We don't pay fees to ourselves, good question. Okay,
Sorry.
that's all right, fair question.
Okay. All right, this is Albert Sitt from Ticton Engineering. I'm the senior engineer of the project. I'm gonna share my screen. Will you guys be able to see my share screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen here. So I'm gonna go through a quick narrative of the project. Let's see. Let me put. So the project, we will replace the existing pedestrian bridge along Route 120, and then replace the superstructure of the adjacent pedestrian bridge over that point. The main pedestrian bridge is located on the west embankment of Route 120, next to the Sawmill River. And the Duck Pond Bridge is located approximately 200 feet northwest from the north end of the main bridge. So the existing main pedestrian bridge along with 120 consists of 24 spans of timber superstructure supported on timber pile band substructure. And the bridge was previously severely damaged in September 2021 because of the Hurricane Ida, and is currently in need of replacement. There's temporary repairs being installed in November 2021 to kind of stabilize the existing bridge so that we can keep it open. But in the future, we still need a permanent replacement of the bridge. So I'm gonna go through a couple pictures of what it looks like, the existing structure. So that's just the west elevations of the existing bridge. You can see this a lot of timber pile band, and it's a pretty long existing bridge. So this is on the bridge, and if I zoom in, you can see this is after the Hurricane Ida. You can see there's two dip here. That's where the main damage was caused during the time. And basically there's over here, that's band 6, where there's an exposed pile bottom over there. And then over here, there's band 12, where an upslope pile is actually get washed away. And then at the time has to put in a temporary post to kind of support it. So if I keep going. So this is the band 6. This is the pile where the bottom is pretty much all exposed, and you can see a big gap underneath after the hurricane. And this is band 12, where you can see this temporary post that was put in for the vent. And that's the original pile location, and that's the pile that's get washed down the slope. And the other deteriorations, like, is a lot of exposed concrete footings along the bridge, and then you can see the slope is all washed out. So that's why this bridge really need a permanent replacement. And what you're seeing is some temporary repairs that was put in during after the storm to stabilize the structures. This is band 6, and then this is just west elevations of the overall view. And this is the existing Duck Pond Bridge, and the condition of the bridge is pretty much just outdated, and you can see all kind of rust on the steel components. And so we're just replacing the superstructure over here. And for the proposed replacement of the main bridge, it's going to be prefabricated truss superstructure supported on reinforced concrete abutments and piers. And it will consist of 3 spans of prefabricated steel trusses over 2 concrete abutments on spread footings and 2 intermediate piers on rock socket concrete piles. And then the Duck Pond Bridge will be a single span prefabricated truss similar to the existing truss structure. And as far as the wetland related work goes, we don't have any we don't propose any wetland direct impact into the wetland limit, but we will have some excavation work within 100 feet of the wetland limit on the main bridge. And we have a summary table provided in the plan. Let me see, I believe it is maybe after that or over here. So the main impact or the main excavation work that is within the 100 feet of wetland will be the excavation for the abutment, the drilling the hole for the piles of the piers, some temporary constructions, earth pad that we will need to put in place to construct the proposed piers, and some slab replacement, and some construction access over the existing grass area. And over the Duck Pond Bridge, we don't propose any impact at all because we're just gonna take out the existing superstructure and replace with a similar type superstructure. So that's the narrative. And any questions? Any comments?
How are you gonna drill the piles?
So
Albert, jump to the staging plan.
yep, over here. Yeah. So this is the two piers. What you're seeing, and then
Right.
you're seeing there's a temporary work pad that's when you need to put into place. That's going to be supported by temporary earth retaining structures, and then the equipment will be, will be
Okay.
drive in here and drill the holes.
So
Yeah.
you're building yourself out.
Correct.
Yeah.
I just have one curiosity question. So any of the overburden from drilling, all that stuff will just be disposed of off-site?
Yes.
Okay.
Any reason not to leave that build out in place?
Yeah, it encroaches into the floodplain for the river. It'll be an impediment to free flow. And it's kind of hard to tell in this drawing, but there's the outside line, the square area, there's a retaining wall. So the temporary earth support system is basically a retaining wall designed by the contractor. It's not designed as permanent.
That's correct. Yeah.
They don't think just doing like a rock revetment and filling it in would be
The
cost effective.
elevation change is too much just to fill it full of rock because it would encroach into the water course. And they're trying to avoid that.
Okay. Just a big revetment to put in to back a
It is.
drill rig in.
It's a tough spot off of 120. I mean,
Yeah.
because I included it also in the plans. Obviously, they need, DOT, they have a traffic plan. So yeah, this is.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
involved.
we've been working the DOT on the traffic plans and that sort of thing. So we expect that permit not to be a problem. They've asked us some questions in reference to the duration of the detours and that sort of thing, because we will be putting a couple very short term, overnight detours in when we get a heavy crane in there.
It's probably a day or two at max to drill.
We need a temporary detour at night to put in some of the temporary earth support systems, depending on what the contractor chooses. And then we'll have some big equipment in there to drill the shafts. And then after that, we wouldn't really need a lot of big equipment. To put rebar and footings and everything else is not too big. But then we bring a big crane in to lift the 3 sections of bridge in place.
And just so you guys know, I mean, every one of these applications, because they've been recent, the 3 tectonic assisted. One was that Cheetah Road stabilization, Upper Minkle Dam. You also remember in this, all the neighbors I notified, they were all mailed. So this was their opportunity if they wanted to come to the meeting. They knew the links and whatnot. So as far as if any citizens had comments either on the project or how the work was going to be executed, this was their opportunity. So
Just curious, what's the decking material on the bridge?
I think catch the question.
The decking, what's the decking material?
Oh, the decking material will be pressure treated.
Oh, it's wood plank.
Yep.
Yes.
There's no anything they have to do.
yeah, I mean, from my perspective, kind of using the Corps of Engineers as my guide, this is all like in-kind replacement of existing structure. no, you know,
There's no new disturbance.
additional fills and, yeah, it doesn't really, it's not material. I mean, you can see from the photos what it kind of looks like underneath there anyway, it's not, yeah.
Is the town gonna take that opportunity to clean up all that growth on top of the
Yeah,
dead tree,
those
those vines?
Yeah, there's a lot of vines there.
A lot of that'll be cleaned up as part of the slope repair work.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So if you're hiding anything there, you should get it out before they,
Yeah, any bodies there, get them out.
exactly. So this is not like the prior one with the dam, it doesn't need any appearance or formal review, and whatever the town board may do, this is strictly, you know, before you for wetlands permit at this point.
No, it'd be a great change.
Yeah.
Certainly needs it. Just whatever can be done to, clean up the area around it,
Right.
get rid of all the brush and vines would make it look so much nicer.
Any other questions?
That's one other question about the bridge. You said it's steel,
Yes.
Yes.
so that'll have to be maintained and painted over the years.
Yeah.
The bridge is going to come pre-painted, so yeah,
Yeah.
after typically a bridge of this type with painting 30+ years in the future. There is obviously some maintenance, so if somebody scuffs it and damages the paint, you got to repair that. But short of that, it comes pre-painted. And as long as they don't damage it during installation, it should last a good long time.
It's gonna be fabricated off-site and just brought in.
Yeah, it's each segment will be brought, each span will be brought into 2 pieces. They'll bolt it together, probably up on the road, and then lift it as one piece. 3 times.
Cool.
Sounds like you rated something great.
We'll take plenty of pictures when they're flying the sections in.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, all right. So we approved, do we
Make a
approve
motion
this?
if you'd like.
Yes,
I move to
well, motion, do we hear a motion to approve this?
the wetlands permit.
Wetlands permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Anything else?
School's out for summer.
Almost.
So just, if they have all that gravel and all the crap that they're bringing in for the temporary, is there anything that the town could use it for, that they don't have to take it and truck it all out again?
That's a fair question, yeah,
It's
because,
probably costing more to build that structure then.
right. You mean like, because that's all clean material at that point, it's just rock, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Stones and, yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming they'll have to get it certified.
That's a question for the town engineer and Bart, just the long-term thinking. like,
Just for the
yeah.
RFP, to negotiate
Yeah.
that, whether it's throw it into town trucks and bring it wherever the
Right.
town needs it.
Right, it's a fair point. Just wanted to make sure the soils are not, we're getting rid of those, right? Good.
Yeah,
And we're
spoil,
gonna- yeah.
the spoils will just,
Yeah, there's no way to put that on site, so. All right.
So that brings the meeting to a close. Do we have to do anything official? To close the
Motion to
meeting?
close.
Motion to close.
Oh,
Somebody?
motion.
motion to close tonight's meeting.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.